Hey everybody, it's Thursday, May 22nd, and I'm coming back at you right quick. This video will be more on a video tip, but I'm glad that I made the last two videos. It appears to me that folks that could use that information got it, and it's the message, not the messenger, The messenger can be all kinds of messed up and human, but the messenger can still transmit useful information. That's all I'm doing, and okay. What's on my mind to share is the Mos Def story. Some of you have probably caught wind of this. Yesterday, Nick Fackler forwarded it to me on Facebook, and then I looked around and found enough stories about it to see that it is true. Hip-hop artist, actor, and activist Mos Def moved to South Africa a while back, and he was planning to come to the U.S. for a tour, and he has been denied entry into the United States. Now, I don't know the whole story, but from what I'm gathering from what's written in the news, it's basically, well, we don't have freedom of speech anymore, like we ever really did. But Mos Def spoke out about things, was an activist, actually underwent some sort of one of the torture tactics that the U.S. used, and they made a film about it. And apparently, if you criticize the U.S. government or you say what you really think, then you don't have any freedom. Like I said, I don't know the exact ramifications of the story, but the implications of it are absolutely chilling to me. I mean, it's just an example of what I already know is happening, which is we don't live in a democracy. We live in an oligarchy. Our freedom is an illusion. We live under, executive order and martial law can be pulled out at the drop of a feather for no particular reason. And yet it seems that these issues aren't of importance to people. Well, on a music tip, I have been playing a lot of records. It's been kind of casual as I'm doing things, been in and out. I put a little music on, and what has been played in the last few days, Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry, Open Up. This is a 12-inch single, band from Leeds, just crunchy. Excuse me. Was this the 90s that this came out? I think it was the 90s. Brett Varn had given me this album, Raw Material. It's a reissue of a British classic. It's considered a classic. It is really good. I listened to this all the way through again yesterday, and it's just got that. It's that period where I don't know. It's like the bands were getting it together. It's like they were. Rock was still kind of young at the time, 1969, 1970. But bands like this were figuring it out. This is a good album. Tim Guthrie stopped by yesterday and brought back my records. Some of you may have seen his latest video on glow-in-the-dark and records and the like. And he showed this one, the Susie and the Banshees, The Rapture. This one glows in the dark. Played this yesterday. It's a good album. When I first got this, I thought it was crap. But sometimes it takes time to catch the perspective of the artist. This was their swan song. This was Susie and the Banshees' last album. This is a Susie and the Banshees album. Again, sometimes because we have expectations as fans, we can't see what is happening with the person making the music. I'm not saying I see that now, but I can definitely see how this is a good Susie and the Banshees album. Yesterday Tim and I had a neat discussion. He was sharing with me about art galleries and selling your works through galleries. It's all new to me. He shared some stuff with me I didn't know. And we had a difference of perspective on a couple of things, and it was fantastic. Tim, I hope you see this, because having a difference of opinion doesn't constitute an argument, nor does it mean that one person has to become upset and try to put the other person down. None of that happened yesterday, and it was great because Tim had some points he wanted to make sure that I considered, and which I listened to, and encountering, all I wanted to say was, yeah, I've listened to you, and I appreciate that. My reality is not the same, and so some of the things that you've shared with me, they're not even real to me, So I'll deal with it when it comes, but it's like I'm not thinking inside of that box. It was a great conversation. Tim, if you see this, you'll know what you can add your 2 cents and share. But it was neat to talk to someone maturely. It was great. Difference of opinions, and so what? You know what I mean? Played this while Tim was over yesterday. This is a really good album. Actually, it's I can see why it's valuable. And I was checking online to see again what it's been going for, and it's regularly going for $120 to $300. I just like that. Okay, I just like knowing that. Let's see, I played Tutu because Rick Barnes was talking about this online. A lot of folks think of this as a Marcus Miller album, or that it's too programmed, and that's what they hear. And what I hear is just a really cool album. Thomas, Portia, I play this album on repeat. I love it. This is Miles Davis to me. Nothing but Miles. Yes, Time in a Word. I played this, actually. I got it out to hear the title track, Time in a Word. I ended up listening to this album twice now, all the way through in the last couple of days. Yes, we're badass, They were just mixing it all up in a really strange, really not really well calculated way, and that's why the music is such an interesting, potent brew, because they were basically throwing anything of interest into the pot to make the music come together. Fantastic album. Here's obscurity that John Coltrane 68 gave to me a while ago, the Blue Cliff Ensemble. Made in the 70s. I think this is out of Oklahoma. Yeah, Tulsa. And this was made in 1979. I've seen it spoken of as a lost psychedelic folk classic. I see this as there's a woman singing, a man playing piano. He's classically trained. The lyrics are somewhat metaphysical about life and wondering about things. But the music strikes me, what am I thinking of? Almost like a nicer Tori Amos, but not psych. I like it though. My first listen to this, when I first got it, I didn't care for it. Listen to this all the way through. I really like this. Catherine Wheel Chrome. This is one of my top albums for power. This has been a good week, and there's been moments where I've been feeling powerful. Good things are happening, I'm lining things up, and I play music to reflect it. And Chrome is a fantastic album. Holds up to this day. Just blisters. Pat Metheny, 8081. Hadn't played this in forever. Maybe I never actually listened to this album. It's one of those records that, it was very popular when it came out, so I didn't bother with it. And then you see Pat Metheny records there's been times when you see his albums by the truckload used. So that's when I finally picked it up for cheap. Really good, really good. What stands out to me on this album is Dewey Redman. Dewey Redman stands out to my ears on this album. Got this in a trade with Jesse for the Digital Sex single, along with the Indian Summer, and I played this all the way through. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Just excellent. I'd showed this, but I went in and played it the other day. One side is all covers, kind of like Todd Rundgren showing off, look what I can do, but also paying homage. Doing everything from Good Vibrations to Strawberry Fields Forever to Happenings 10 years time ago, and If 6 was 9, show off. And I mean that in a loving way because he pulled it off, you know. Todd Rundgren's a bad mother. I had the Slayer out and played it again. Really like this album. Don't care about the lyrics. Music is powerful as fuck. Love it. Love it. Okay. So there you go, people. Alrighty. As you know, when you watch my channel, anything is liable to happen. And no regrets. No regrets. And much love to all of you. Okay?